What's going on, everybody? Dogman Dan here. We are in Warframe. We're going to talk about INAROS today, and this is going to be out of your norm. This is kind of taking it back old school the way I used to do it. We are not doing a 5-minute build here. I am actually not done with him in terms of what I want to do in Forma and all that stuff, but I want to sit here and kind of talk to you a bit about it. I want your feedback, as always, comments below, thoughts on how you're setting it up, why you're setting it up that way, you know. Let's do that. Let's get it back to the way that it was. Community helping community, okay? Not me coming here giving you a 3 to 5 minute video telling you exactly how you have to build it, because Lord knows, that's not the way it works. And I will challenge that anytime, and I have for 3 years, just as FYI, okay? And that's why people, I think, don't like me sometimes, is because I can challenge anything that you put out there with whatever I feel like making, because I'm here to enjoy myself, and it still fucking works. Anyway, okay. So, quickly, I was asked the other day, actually I was asked today, so I'm doing this on Sunday, and I was asked a little while ago, about the appearances. I use blues, blacks, and yellows. Basically, matches, you know, clan colors, in terms of the Nog Army and the Night Owls gaming community, and even a little bit on our Alliance colors, where we use a blue and a black as well. And attachments wise, I'm using the Porta shoulder blades and leg plates for this, along with the Abrasis and Don, which I think is just fucking awesome. Though right now my Cernos is bleeding through it in this image, but it is what it is. We can't make things perfect, can we? No, we can try, but we can't make things perfect all the time. He's got a little dangly bit back there. That's a little bit weird. And I thought the Porta blades, the Porta shoulder plates and leg plates work good, because he's very skinny, as you can see. And some of the other ones just seemed overwhelmingly big on him, where these just seem to fit his arms and legs perfectly. So there's that, in case you're wondering. Anubis helmet, because why don't I want to look like a dog? I am a dog. God damn it. Okay, let's get back into here. So, abilities, and I'm showing it to you here with the stats, whatever. This is the way I've got it set up, at least in the recent video that you saw, how I had it set up. So, there is that. Okay, dissertation or dissociation, whatever. It's dissociation. I can't say it. Who gives a shit, right? This thing is awesome. The #1 ability is awesome, and I think for me so far, I've used the dissociation, whatever. Who cares? That thing, that blasting of enemies, along with the Sandstorm, a lot. It's just crazy the way you do it. But so you getting a life steal out of this, duration, range, damage per second. You can just hit this thing over and over and over and over. You know, I mean, it works great, especially the fact that it blinds and steals health from the enemies. Okay, Devour. This is interesting. You've got to hold the button to power and trap a target in this quicksand, and then it draws them towards you, and this steals health along the way, and it ultimately creates a friendly sand shadow. Now, when you do that, you are also invulnerable. As long as you are holding that button down and it's dragging the enemy to you, you are actually invulnerable for a bit. So that's not a bad thing. Keep that in mind. Another way to get your health back up if you're starting to lose health. Sandstorm, whirling spiral of sand that sends enemies flying and devours those entrapped in quicksand. Yeah, I love this thing. Just feel like a beast with it. Scarab Swarm, it is actually pretty good. Problem is, you've got to have your allies within the heal radius in order for it to bounce back the healing capabilities. So you may not actually use this very often unless you're in, let's say, a defense mission where everybody's crowded up on each other and they're within that 15-minute range. When you use the Scarab Swarm, then yeah, sure, it's going to work out well, because the damage is going to drain them, or there's going to drain the survivors with their health and send it back to your allies. So it can work in certain situations, but in other situations, if you're in a general pug group and you're running around on a survival or just regular missions and everybody's running around running and gunning trying to get the most amount of kills, because that's fucking what everybody has to do, get the most amount of kills, then it's probably not even going to be something you even give a crap about, because why waste your energy and your health? Because when you activate this, when you charge this, it takes your health away. So you can charge this, get this up to charge to utilize, which it utilizes 25% each time. So if you got it 100%, you got 4 uses on it. Just keep that in mind. And then you'd have to go out and get all your health back before you can, you know, do it again, whatever. So in a team, with your clan, with your alliance, with the group that's doing, you know, something like defense missions, yeah, it's perfect. Otherwise, you may not even utilize it. 1 through 3 will be your utilized abilities more often than not. Now, these numbers don't seem huge. Remember, a lot of this is, you know, damage per second, damage over time, damage per second. Our energy used here right now is an 8 out of 10, but I'll show you how we can change that in just a moment. Keep in mind, guys, this is not my final setup, and there's a million ways you can put this together. I'm just going to give you some ideas here momentarily as to how you can do it now. Also, your Exilus slot actually has a dash polarity in it. First time it's actually got a dash polarity. You still have to unlock it and have an Exilus adapter, and it's used a dash polarity, but it is there. So first off, your aura, you've got a dash slot again. But in terms of your aura, there's a few things you could go ahead and just throw corrosive projection on it, because you're not really going to need energy siphon since I'm running rage, and rage here converts your 40% of damage on health to energy, and since you've got 0 shields, any damage taken immediately converts to energy. So it only takes 1 or 2 hits from an enemy to suddenly get yourself filled up with your maximum power, and that'll keep going like that, where your energy siphon's really not going to do too much for you. So you may not even use that. I have it on here right now while I was working on it because I wanted to test out some stuff. But a corrosive projection could go on there. Enemy radar, not a bad thing to have, so you can see on your minimap, unless you've already got it running, let's say on your Sentinel, like I do. A loot radar, I guess you could use that. I don't use that much anymore. You could change it. You know, another way you might want to change it, to be honest, would be steel charge if you're going to drop in a heavy melee setup, which I may actually change this from energy siphon to a V slot for the steel charge. And then, of course, that would allow me to use this, because I am going to go heavy melee, I think, on it. You could use the physique mod. While the physique mod only gives you a 3% health increase, it's still a pretty big increase. Just saying. In my opinion, it still can be a pretty big increase.
Tenno, a new alert has begun.
So
Will be marked on navigation.
you've got that. So there's a few different ways you could go depending upon how you want to set it up. Just saying. Just saying. In terms of augments, obviously we have nothing yet. In terms of Exilus slots, you've got a few ways to go here. I mean, the coaction drift is alright. It'll give you extra aura strength, extra aura of effectiveness, especially if you're running the physique mod. This might actually work out pretty decently when you're putting them two together. It'll give you a little more health out of that pool. Handspring might be the one that most people are going to want to use here. The 160% faster knockdown recovery, because you've got no shield, so you're going to get knocked down all the time. Now, if you don't want to go with handspring, you can come around, swap out this with a different polarity, put power drift in here, so where you get an extra 15% power strength. You're going to get a 30% chance to resist knockdown. Okay, that's just an option. Obviously, mobilize is an option there. Your 20% bullet jump with your aim glide and wall latch, and I think that's like one of the best ones to have, because it overall does it with only a 5 in terms of pool capacity utilized. Shock absorbers, straight up 20% damage resistance on knockdown. This is not bad either, but you have to change your slot. I'm sorry for that. Oh, forgive me. Handspring's probably the way to go here. Okay, just one option. Another option you could go with, depending upon what you want to do with these last two slots, and there's a few different things we could talk about really quickly here. Again, keep in mind, nothing is set in stone. Everything is set the way you want it to be. There's no other way to play this. Just take whatever you see as a grain of salt, literally, with this guy. And you just build something the way that it fits you, and there's just nothing wrong with it. I don't care what anyone says. I never have for 3 years. When somebody tells me that my stuff is shit, yeah, I don't think so, because I've been able to prove time and again that I can do and keep up with the best of them just as well based off of how I enjoy myself. You can put rapid resilience in here if you want to take off status duration. Not a bad way to go. Okay. Another thing you could do in there, you could put armored agility in there if you want to. Okay. You can put sure-footed in here. Sure-footed is going to give you a 60% chance to resist knockdown. Now, if you put sure-footed in here, you put handspring up here, yeah, you're just a freaking god at that point. In here, though, you could essentially just make it quick and simple. Streamline and stretch, boom, boom. You get an extra 30% power efficiency, an extra 30% range. And I'm just going to show you right here with streamline what that extra 30% in streamline does, along with our prime continuity in terms of bringing down our efficiencies, bringing up our efficiencies, if you will. Okay, remember, duration does affect your efficiencies. So I've got transient fortitude in here, and I'm losing 25% duration. But I only need that 50% strength, I think, especially depending upon what I do, if I put power drift up here or not. But streamline giving us an extra 30%. You put the stretch in here, an extra 30%, and they're going to help you out overall. And you can just keep it that simple. It's that simple. There's really not much to it. Rage is your determining factor here. Rage and vitality and steel fiber. These three, I think you'd want to put on almost any setup you're doing, with some minor changes, of course. But I think these three right here are kind of your mandatories that you want to put on. And the other 5, you can do almost anything that you want to with. Now, because I made that change and I put that efficiency in there, we'll just quickly look here. So we're taking our, and we're going to look at the sandstorm. So we took our, what would essentially be without stats, energy drain of 10. Okay? And we pretty much halved it now. So the 50% duration plus the 30% streamline on here gives us 5 energy drain per second. We can get that lower. We definitely could. But, you know, I think that's more than enough based off of what you're going to use Sandstorm for and how you're going to utilize it. This is the heavy CCing, if you will, in a group that just comes upon you. If they get on you pretty hard, Sandstorm, and you've got it going and flowing, so to speak. So there is that. Again, there's a million ways to do it. Hey, Super Bunny, I'll get back in touch with you here in a few minutes when I'm done with this video. And thanks for enjoying my stuff as you did in that comment. I did see it. So that's just kind of one of the things. I'm still working on the Mutalised Cernos. Still working on the Legion. Dual Toxicist, like I said, is just pretty much going in as fodder for me, which is rare that I do that, but it is. If you have comments and questions on this, please do feel free to leave them below. If you're still sitting around listening, I appreciate you guys watching and listening. Again, comments. Tell me how you're setting things up, why you're setting them up that way, because we want to share it with everybody. Let others get ideas. Give ideas to the community. Help people decide how they want to set things up, because there is no wrong way to do it. Until the next episode, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon.